Chapter 6 Under Attack. Tag struggled to swim up to the surface. His feet squatted in the mud beneath him and his wings caught on twisted tree roots on the water. There was darkness everywhere. Something tugged on his feathers. Tag swam as fast as he could, kicking his feet and flapping his wings. Finally, he saw a circle of light above him. The moon. He flew toward it and burst out of the water. Swash! Something leaped out of the water behind him. It brushed against its tail and feathers. His tail feathers. He flew higher, afraid to look back and see what was in the water. Whatever it was, it felt big. Tag! Tag! Scarlet cried below him. Tag swept over the swamp. He watched the water, looking for whatever it knocked him off the raft. Scarlet was clinging to the top of the raft as it rocked back and forth. Tag! She cried again. I'm coming, Tag said. Hold on. Tag tried to fly to her, but the mud and the water on his wings are making them heavy. He dropped onto a nearby branch with a thud. Over here, he called to her. Roll over to me. Scarlet spun wrapped around with his stick and pushed toward Tag. Behind the water rippled again. Tag could see a long dark shape swimming in the swamp. He followed Scarlet on the raft, getting closer and closer to her. Tag pulled out his dagger, but Scarlet was too far away and still couldn't fly yet. Look out behind you, Tag shouted. Rah! A large head rose from beneath the water. It looked like a crocodile, but it was much bigger than any Tag had seen before. Its scales were red and purple. Its huge jaws opened wide, ready to bite the rafts. They guessed at the sight of the rows of razor-sharp teeth. Tag! Scarlet screamed as she pushed the raft even faster. Tag reached out and grabbed the Scarlet's paw. Chomp! The creature's jaw came down on the raft, almost catching Scarlet's tail. Tag pulled Scarlet's paw. They landed in a jumble on the branch. The creature gave another chomp. The raft broke into pieces. Tag threw a nearby stake at the creature's head. Ah! The creature howled and disappeared beneath the silver water. Chapter 7 The Tall Trees. Are you okay? Tag asked. Scarlet nodded. There are skulls, she puffed. What is that? They scanned the water. It looks like some king of a huge crocodile, he said. We need to get out of here in case it comes back. Yes, Scarlet agreed. Maybe the creature is what the toads were trying to warn us about. Maybe, they said. They made their way along the branch. The water is more shallow down here. Tag told her. They jumped into the water and walked toward the island. It rose up out of the water heads and was covered with tall trees. Let's find the blaze and get out of here, Scarlet said. Tag checked his sack to make sure that the map and the stone and the feathers were okay after being on the water. The map was a little damp, but he could still see the pictures. Come on, he said as they reached the edge of the island. The tall trees are right ahead. Scarlet started to run, but then she coughed. Ow! Ow! Are you okay? Tag asked. Scarlet waved a paw at him. I'm fine. Come on, let's go rescue our friend. Tag looked up in wonder. The trees towered over them. An enormous nest sat at the end of every branch, but the nest wasn't made from wings and leaves, like Tag's nest. This nest seemed to have grown out of the trees from small twisted branches. Wait, Tag said, holding Scarlet's paw. He pointed up the nest high above them. Long, brightly colored feathers hung down over the edge, like a long clock. from far away, they almost looked like they could be fire hose. Close up though, they could see that these birds were much larger and had covered purple beaks. There's a giant bird inside every nest, Scarlet whispered. How are we going to find the blaze without being seen? The golden feathers showed us the blaze was in one of these nests, Teg said. So she must be here somewhere. We're just going to have to wait until the birds leave before we investigate. Scarlet sighed and sat down beneath one of the trees. Teg sat beside her. Ugh, ugh, Scarlet coughed again. Shh, Teg whispered, as he gently covered her mouth with his wings. We can't let them know we are here. Scarlet nodded, and they waited. Suddenly there was a loud caw. Teg and Scarlet hid behind a tree trunk. Look, Scarlet cried. The birds are all flying away. The giant birds had taken to the air. They followed the largest cawing birds. That one looks like their leader, Teg said. I bet they're going to find food. Teg and Scarlet looked at each other. Time to find the blaze, Scarlet said. Chapter 8. The Hidden Surprise. As soon as the giant birds were out of the sight, Scarlet raced up the closest tree to look for blaze. Teg looked to the sky. It soared over and under the nest, searching everywhere. Something moved in the nest below him. Teg quickly landed on a branch and hid out of sight. He picked around some leaves and fruits. Now all the giant birds had left their nests. One of them had stayed behind and was sleeping in the highest nest on the tallest tree. Teg waved at Scarlet, pointed at the nest. Scarlet's eyes grew wide. She leaped from branch to branch until she landed beside Teg. Do you think the bird stayed behind to guard Blaze? Scarlet whispered. Teg nodded. The other nests were empty. Blaze must be in that nest too. Then let's go get her, Scarlet said. Teg flew to the next branch to get a better look. The giant bird was snoring. Teg could not see any sign of Blaze. I need to get closer, he thought. Teg shuffled slowly along the branch. He moved closer to the nest. The giant bird was even bigger than Teg had thought. Its beak was as big as it was. Teg gulped it, took a step closer to peek inside the nest. Suddenly, a giant bird ruffled its big feathers. Teg jumped. He almost slipped off the branch, but he held tight with his talons. Blaze, whispered toward the nest. Are you in there? There is no reply. The giant bird snored softly. Blaze, Teg called again, a little louder. It's me, Teg. A voice replied. The giant bird ruffled its feathers again, but Teg had recognized the voice. Hope rose in his chest. Then he spotted a smaller branch of feathers beneath the giant birds. It was Blaze!